Hey, Mama. It's your girl, Carrie, and welcome back to another episode of Mom Wife Career Life. Today is a bit of a throwback. I'm revamping an old episode because it's a topic I get asked about quite a bit this time of year, and it's something I am so passionate about: how to teach your kids how to give back during the holidays. And I was just going to re release the original episode, but I've come a long way since I first started this podcast. And when I listen to those old episodes, I kind of cringe a bit. And I also wanted to give this topic a new light. So here we are. I am absolutely just loving this time of year. My bestie Ann flew in from an impromptu visit this past weekend, and we took a hike, just the two of us, which I can't remember the last time I took a hike without kids. And it was really kind of awesome. But walking around, not having someone say they're tired or not listening or stopping for a snack, we literally found a bench and just sat there for over an hour, just chatting, catching up. And it was really just food for my soul. But walking around and just taking in the beauty, Mother Nature's full rainbow, the cold, crisp air, and just knowing the holidays are right around the corner, it's really just my favorite time of year. And it's never too early to start planning for the holidays. So after this episode, I want you to go grab my Christmas Planning Made Simple guide. It is your go-to tool for keeping the holidays meaningful and manageable. It's filled with easy to use templates, a gift tracker, a budget planner, and a family activity bucket list, things that I do with my family, and a November and December calendar. So you could really stay organized, really focus on what matters, and plan more intentional moments with your kids this season. So go grab your free copy using the link in the show notes, or you could check out my website, momwifecareerlife.com. It's on there too. And now let's dive in to today's episode on how to raise kids who give back, and maybe even start creating some awesome give back traditions with your kiddies too. Are you feeling overwhelmed trying to juggle all the many hats you wear as a working mom? Do you want more quality time with your family without distraction of work and time alone to take care of yourself and your needs? Welcome to Mom Wife Career Life. I'm Carrie, a wife, mom of 3, and a recovering perfectionist. In this podcast, I will teach you how to create balance in your life by implementing healthy habits, organizing your home and your schedule, being intentional with your time and in your relationships, and most importantly, how to start putting your needs first, because no one can pour from an empty cup. Grab that second cup of coffee, or if you're anything like me, your third. It's time to dive into today's episode of Mom Wife Career Life. I've always loved the holidays, and ever since becoming a mom, the holiday season took on a whole new meaning for me. I've always wanted my kids to see the season as one of really giving more than receiving, and I wanted them to grow up understanding that the holidays aren't about how many presents are under the tree. They're about kindness, about gratitude, and really taking care of your community. And I say this in the past tense because my kids are a little older, and I really started this young with all of them. So it's something that is just comes natural. They're now traditions to us. It's something we all look forward to. And honestly, in a world that can sometimes feel divided, and unfortunately now so much more than ever, I truly believe that raising kind, compassionate kids is one of the greatest gifts we can give the world. And I know that might sound cheesy, but hear me out. Because when you strip away all of the labels we put on people and all the differences we point out, at the end of the day, we're all humans. And as humans, it is our job to look out for one another, regardless of your religion, regardless of where you were born, regardless of what color skin, what color hair, what your accent is. It's all so silly when you think about it. But yes, our job is to look out for those that are less fortunate than us and to lift each other up whenever possible. So today I'm sharing how to teach your kids how to give back and simple ways to incorporate it into your holiday traditions. And if you listened to my earlier episode, I did add a few extra ideas onto this one. So let's get started. First things first, you need to lead by example. Kids do what we do, not what we say. If they see you helping others, see you volunteering, donating, or showing those small acts of kindness, they're naturally going to follow your lead. And yes, the older they get, the more likely they'll call you out when your actions don't match your words, especially when it comes to being on your phones. So try modeling generosity in small ways every day. Pay someone a compliment, smile at someone as you're walking down the street, or even say hello, hold the door open, pay for the person behind you at a drive-thru. I actually do this a lot. I hate fast food. I tried to keep my kids away from it, but as they're getting older, it's just harder, especially now that Ashley can just jump in the car and drive to a drive-thru. even though DoorDash seems to be the big thing amongst teenagers, which I absolutely am not liking. And I don't know what happened this year, but I find that we're going to fast food at least once a month. And if I'm having a bad day, that tends to be when I pay for the person behind me, because I figure if I'm having a bad day, maybe the person behind me might be having a bad day too. And finding out that someone paid for the meal will make them smile. And it actually does make me smile too. And my kids really get a kick out of it. And I never actually turn around to see the person's reaction, which I know some people are like, you're crazy, but my kids do. But part of the reason is because I also want my kids to know that giving isn't about getting something in return. I don't need to see the person's reaction because that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it out of the kindness of my heart with no expectations. And side note, if this is something you want to do, you can ask the cashier how much the person's order is behind you. So that way you're not buying like a $50 dinner. And it's funny because like 4 times in a row recently, the person behind me is just getting a coffee or a cookie and it was something like $3. But then last week it ended up being around 20. And I was actually happy because I felt like I was buying a family a meal or at least someone a meal. But anyway, lead by example. Number 2, talk about giving. Make conversations about being kind and giving back just part of your family culture. I've had my kids volunteering since they were really young. Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts are really great for this. And we always need it part of our conversation, especially this time of year, and especially about kindness. When they tell me stories about school and maybe a kid getting left out or something happening, I always try to give them a perspective of that kid and what they could do to make that kid feel better. But even at the dinner table or from a ride back from school or practice, when you're asking them how their school day was, throw in some questions like, who did you help today? Or who are you kind to today? And when it comes to giving back, have your family brainstorm ways to give back. Maybe have each person come up with an idea. And those are the things that you can focus on this season. Think locally, school, through your place of worship, or even right in your own neighborhood. When the kids help create the plan, they're going to feel that ownership and even excitement around it. And in case you need help in this area, I wanted to share what we do every year to give back. And we actually start with Halloween. The first thing we do is painted pumpkins for the seniors. This one actually has a very special place in my heart. I started it as a Girl Scout project with one of my Girl Scout troops years ago, and it has grown into a town-wide event. Each year we do a donation drive of painted pumpkins and we collect the painted pumpkins and we set out a painted pumpkin patch in the courtyard of one of our local senior living communities. And it's turned into a fun little fall festival for them with simple games and the Girl Scout community coming together and just showing our senior community some love. And it's really, really special. But you could do this on a smaller scale. If your family wants to try it, you could drop them off at a local facility or even ask them if they would allow your kids to come in and personally deliver them to some of the residents. Just prep your kids ahead of time of things that they might see in a senior living facility because those residents do need extra care. You can even ask the person you're coordinating the visit with, like, what type of things might my kids see so I could prep them ahead of time. That's really a great way to go about it, but it's so worth it. And the joy your kids will bring is priceless. And I always leave there feeling like we made such a difference. The second thing we do is a Halloween candy collection. After Halloween, I put a box on our porch for a candy collection, and moms usually drop off extra candy when the kids are at school when they don't notice that they stole from their candy stash. And then the kids divide up the candy. We make a pile for chocolate and everything else in the other. The chocolate gets donated to senior living facilities because they're big on their chocolate and they can't eat most candies. So the candy gets donated to Treats for Troops. It's really the perfect way to clear out that candy stash and save yourself from those late night chocolate raids. No judgment. I'm totally there. Give me a Milky Way any day. But have your kids sort the candy, box it up, and then include a thank you note for the service members. It's such a tangible way for them to connect gratitude with action. And if you don't do the actual candy collection, I'm sure there's someone local that is doing a candy collection too. So you could just drop it off and ask on your local Facebook. I'm sure there's plenty of ways out there. Number 3, Operation Christmas Child, also known as Operation Shoebox. And it's run by Samaritan's Purse, where you fill a shoebox with items like toys, school supplies, and essentials for a child in need. And then it gets shipped around the world. We've done this one since Michael was a baby. It's now become one of our favorite holiday traditions. Each kid picks a gender and an age group. Then we go to Target and Five and Below and we fill their shoeboxes. We literally walk around the store with the shoeboxes and fill it up to make sure that everything fits. It can get a little pricey if you're not watching what your kids put in there, so be careful. But we've started to buy little things we see on sale throughout the year, especially around back to school season with the crayons and the markers. when they're on sale because they're like 50 cents each. So I just stock up and we put them in the shoe boxes. And I also have the kids make a craft or a bracelet or something for them to put in the box along with a note and a picture of our family. And I always take a picture with them at the store with their shoe boxes. And it's a nice little memory that I have year after year. And if this is something you want to do, I will link it in the show notes. The National Collection Week is November 17th through the 25th. It changes every year. So if you're not listening to this in real time, the dates may have changed, but the link should still be in the same in the show notes. Or you could just Google Operation Christmas Child. Number 4, the Elf on the Shelf box tradition. If your family has an elf on the shelf or a mensch on a bench, you could have them deliver an empty box one morning with a note asking your kids to fill it with toys to donate. Our elf used to do this every year. He would bring a note telling the kids it's time to donate toys that they grew out of or don't play with as much so that they can find a new home and make room for some of the things that they are asking Santa for. It's an adorable twist that keeps the giving spirit alive. And if you're looking to get rid of some really big things, make sure it's a really big box and tell your kids that they have to make sure it's totally full. Number 5, be a secret Santa. Many churches and food pantries, they host giving trees or adoptive family programs where people in need will write down a gift that they want for the holidays, and it's either placed as an ornament on your tree or your local pantry can just give you a list. And you could either say you want to buy one gift or literally sponsor an entire family. And it's all about what you're able to give. So don't overextend yourself. But I let my kids pick an ornament and then we shop for the gifts together. And I'd love to say that they help me wrap them, but they don't. And I actually love to wrap, so I really don't mind. And I always make sure to ask for a mom to shop for because moms, they always want to make sure the rest of the family is taken care of, especially around Christmas. But especially around Christmas, that's when moms need a lot of love too. So those cozy socks, a snuggly blanket, a fluffy robe, maybe even their perfume or even a bottle of wine. What mom can't use that this time of year? Number 6, Thanksgiving meal bags for seniors. This is another thing that has turned into a full community event through our Girl Scout troop. But it's really something that any family can do on a much smaller scale. You could partner with your local food pantry or a senior living facility and provide a Thanksgiving meal in a bag for those in need. The bags we do are basically everything but the turkey, all the non-perishable stuff like the stuffing, canned vegetables, boxes of mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce. And then we add in a handwritten note and a small treat bag. You can even do some leftover Halloween candy. It's such a small, simple touch that makes such a big difference. And we actually go door to door and deliver them to the seniors. And that's even better because they're just so grateful, especially seeing little kids. Well, my kids aren't so little anymore, but younger kids, it really just brings such a smile to their face. And we walk away from that event just feeling so great. Number 7, donate instead of doing Christmas cards. So instead of mailing traditional Christmas cards, we donate the money that we would normally spend on printing and cards and postage. Each of the kids pick a charity that they want to donate to, and then we post the picture that would have been used for our Christmas card on Facebook, along with the post explaining what we're doing and each of the charities that the kids chose to donate, along with links that encourage people to donate if they can as well. And it not only saves time and money, but it teaches your kids that giving has more impact than sending sometimes. And honestly, the thought of sending someone my kids' pictures to just have it get thrown in the garbage is a little disheartening for me. And I always feel guilty getting rid of anyone's pictures. So what I do is I actually save the cards every year and I hang them up when I do our Christmas decorations. And when I get their new card, I switch them out. So then I don't feel guilty. Number 8, bake for neighbors and your local community heroes. So every December, we dedicate one day to do our Christmas cookie baking. We keep it simple. I only do 3 types, and we deliver local tins or little baggies to our local police department, fire department, our first aid squad, and our church. And we make smaller boxes for our neighbors, and we go full on cheesy and wear Santa hats and go door to door, delivering them while singing Christmas carols. A lot of my neighbors are older and they just love seeing the kids. And I will be honest, my kids aren't as enthusiastic about doing it now that they're a little older, at least the singing part. But they really see how happy people are to receive something. And plus, it gets all the cookies out of my house, so I'm not eating them. Number 9, pay it forward. This is one of my favorites because it teaches spontaneous kindness. And I already mentioned paying for someone in the drive-thru, but you can really do it anywhere you're paying for things, or leave a generous tip when you go out to dinner or lunch, or even to Starbucks. One year we made pay it forward cards for my Girl Scout troop, and when I would pay for someone, I would ask the cashier to give them the card in hopes that it would cause a chain reaction. And again, I had the conversation with my kids that our one act of kindness could end up causing the person to do something kind for the next person, and then the next person, and then the next person. And just think of all the lives that our one little gesture could touch. Number 10, bring cheer to your senior living facilities. If you haven't noticed the theme, I'm really big on showing our senior community a lot of love. I just think our country does such a poor job of honoring our elderly. So I've made it a point to get my kids involved since they were really little. But there are so many creative ways to bless seniors this time of year. You can have your kids go in and sing holiday songs, make ornaments with them or cards, or just read to them. If you have friends with kids around the same age, you can make it a group outing. And then you could finish up with hot cocoa and donuts afterwards. Make it a fun event. Little acts of connection mean the world to someone who may not have any family nearby. And last but not least, number 11, create a kindness advent calendar. Instead of doing chocolates, or you could do chocolates too and make this one a completely separate one, create a calendar with 25 acts of kindness leading up to Christmas. Things like hold the door open for someone or call grandma. And honestly, once your kids do it for 25 days straight, it will hopefully become a habit and they will be more aware of little things that they could do each day to just show up with kindness. All right, that's my list. I know the holidays can be so busy and loud and sometimes completely overwhelming, but when you slow down and you shift your focus to giving, everything changes. And it's honestly why I love this season so much. You start to see the season through your kids' eyes and it's pure magic because the best gifts aren't the ones wrapped under the tree. They're the ones that shape our kids into kind, grateful, and generous humans. And the best gift you can give me today is sharing this episode with a friend so we can help more moms teach their kids how to give back and how to pay it forward. And I would love to hear what your family does during the holidays to give back. So head on over to our Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms, and tell us all about it. And if you don't already follow the show, take a second and hit that follow button so you never miss another episode. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Life, Career Life with Carrie Pat. Before you go, if you found this podcast helpful, I would be so grateful if you would take a minute, go on over to iTunes and leave me a review. If you have other stressed out mamas in your life that you feel this podcast could help, take a screenshot of this episode, post it on your Instagram stories and tag me, and let them know that they are not alone and they can create balance in their life too. If there's a topic you'd like me to cover or you just want to connect, DM me on Instagram at mom.wife.career.life. Or come on over and hang out in our free Facebook community, Work-Life Balance for Working Moms. Sending you so much love and light until next time on Mom Life, Career Life with Carrie Pat.